Hello, my dear friends, and welcome to yet another wonderful episode of Singania Quest Plus Ed Talks. This series was started to pick the brains of some of the top educationists in the country, and believe me, we have one of the best educationists in the country today. She has been, basically focusing on the cause of education for the last so many years, and I have had the privilege to visit her school personally and meet her a couple of times. And believe me, extraordinary human being, extraordinary leader, and a fantastic person, absolutely down to earth. So I have a privilege to introduce Dr. Niyati Chitkara. She is a principal of Chitkara International School. She is a next generation educationist who believes in developing a central learning approach and a positive learning environment in which every student can experience success as well as learn to face challenges. She envisions to create a sense of integrity, dignity, and confidence amongst the young learners so they are ready to face life's challenges. As far as achievements are concerned, they are innumerable. She's won various awards. She's also completed her doctorate in school-based assessment, including the CCE, and a host of other qualifications. So, ma'am, it is an absolute privilege to have you on the show. Welcome. Thank you so much for gracing the occasion, ma'am.
Thank you so much, sir. And thank you so much for the opportunity. I'm truly grateful and extremely excited.
Wow, ma'am, it has been such a wonderful, and I've been following you on social media for the last 18 to 24 months. The work that you are doing has been absolutely incredible,
Thank you.
especially on these tough times. So, ma'am, would you mind sharing us your journey in the space of education? How did you start? How did the thought of education come to you and to reach the milestone that you've reached today? Please share the journey with us. We'll be really grateful, ma'am.
Wow. Well, that's quite interesting because I'm a born teacher, born on Teachers' Day, 5th of September. And the day I opened my eyes, I've been teaching. I've been teaching my neighbors' children. I've been teaching, my cousins and all the friends around. So I've been teaching, since the time I know the world around me. And secondly, I was blessed to have a family who really encouraged me, helped me in my education. I am from Amritsar, so I did my master's in commerce and business administration from there. And I'm a gold medalist there as well. So then eventually I got married here and married into a family of teachers. They're all teachers. And Chitkara as an organization, our founders are hardcore teachers. They've spent their lives inside the staff room. So they're more of teachers than, the business people. And that is what makes us unique. And that is what, we are very, very proud of. So my journey has been interesting in a way that, I was earlier working in a language school. Eventually, we thought of opening a school, and then somehow, got into the school education with my team, did my B.Ed, M.Ed and PhD. And I'm extremely passionate about it, specifically assessments. That's my core area. So I'm an author of a book called Assessment Quotient. And so my journey has been extremely illuminating. I'm very thankful to all my teachers, specifically Dr. Shok Chitkara, Dr. Madhu Chitkara, and my family members, particularly my husband, Mr. Mohit Chitkara, my children. Normally parents are engaged in, letting their child study for future. But in my case, it was the opposite. My entire family, they actually supported me and ensured that I studied post-marriage, post-children. And it has been a very tough journey. My teacher, Dr. V. Natarajan, he's a professor emeritus and a very renowned person in the field of assessments. So whatever knowledge I have today, it's all because he has blessed me with all that. And my team, of course, my students, my parents, because they are the ones, because of which, I'm here right now, talking to you. So they are my inspiration. They give me that drive, to come to work every day and be as excited. And also, my team is extremely young, creative. And when we started our journey, we all were extremely young novice. We had no idea how schools were run. So at that time, there were people used to say that education is an area, specifically school education, is dominated by gray hair fraternity. So it was a challenge to fight and, that stereotype kind of an approach. And we are very happy today because that's the USP today. We are more connected to our students. We give exams and we understand how difficult it is to prepare for exams. We have the same feeling of having butterfly in our stomach. So we are more of students than teachers. So that is what makes us unique, and that is what we are extremely proud of. So that has been my journey so far, and I'm truly grateful.
That was so fantastic, and I must say very, very inspirational, ma'am. So the born teacher is the word that I'm picking up from there. It's a message for all the youngsters out there. If you're inspired, keep following your passion, and definitely you will achieve great heights. Fantastic, ma'am. That was so inspirational. Ma'am, I've been privileged to visit Chitkara International School, and I must say impressive would be an understatement. To see the way that you've laid out the school, the way the teachers operate, the way the teams operate, so very systematic, so very student-centric, teacher-centric. So would you like to share the mission and the vision behind the whole school? And congratulations on the new school at Panchkula as well. We would love for you to share a few words about that school as well.
Lovely. So I just mentioned that, when we started good 15 to 17 years back, so we had no idea how schools were run. And जब कुछ नहीं आता, फिर आप क्या करते हो? Then you study around, then you research. You try to understand, what is best going on and available as an option. So we started studying schools in our country, overseas, and till date, we love to study schools. But one thing was very clear, that we will not copy anything, right? We will try to come up with a very unique model of school education. So when we started our school, we already had 2 universities in place. So Chitkara is an organization that provides a platter right from playway till PhD. Wow. So we already had 2 universities, and school had just started. Now, instead of building a school from K till 12, so we started building an ulta curriculum. It's university to K. And because Chitkara University works extremely in a very closed manner with the industry and with all the stakeholders, with the government and all, so that element also entered into our system. So our vision is that, we will take a hand, open a mind, touch your heart, and shape the future. So that's the vision statement. And the mission is that, there are a lot of interesting keywords in our mission statement. First of all, it's industry-led. So we work with the industry. We are employability focused. We are skill focused school. And second of all, ऐसी education जो आपको कल को नौकरी करने में आसानी दे. It helps you in your employability. It helps you to fetch good admissions at higher education level. So that's one thing for sure. Another interesting feature is that, it has to be innovative. It has to be interesting. You can't be boring teachers. You can't just go with those faces in your class and your students are like, oh God, another lecture. So we wanted to build a school that talks to the child. And if you walk through our school, you will find all the learning hallways and walkways around. So we've been also given the Best Infrastructure Award by a lot of organizations. And the reason is that when you walk over the school, you'll find a lot of patents on the wall, the student patents. So the university students, the working models, their work has been exhibited all over. Right. And that is what inspires the students. In our country, we have curriculum where we are teaching content. Content is readily available on Google. So It's basically, we want to teach research. Because at PhD level, we find people doing research just for the heck of. एक doctor बनना है, एक thesis लिखना है, इसलिए research करना है. Or maybe move on to your professional career advancement, and that's the reason people want to do PhD. But people do not want to do PhD to solve problems. People don't want to do PhD because they enjoy problem solving or they have the spirit of research and innovation into them. ऐसे बहुत कम लोग हैं. So that is where, and that is what will change our country. So मुझे लगता है सर कि mission ये होना चाहिए that content is already available. The research element has to be embedded. Innovation has to be embedded. Technology, of course, is into the picture. Environment, of course, is into the picture. General awareness is into the picture. But at the same time, communication is the key. So, ऐसा school होना चाहिए जिसमें 24/7 the school is available, right? To the faculty, to the government, to the stakeholders, to the community, to our students. So, अगर रात को 12 बजे भी एक student को problem है, so school is there because it's another home.
Amazing.
So that is what, is the vision of our school.
Fantastic. Research and innovation-driven education. I mean, believe me, this is the hallmark of a good educational institution. For school-level children, talking about research, innovation, and not only talking, making it happen on the ground. I have seen it firsthand. Absolutely wonderful, ma'am. I must say this is brilliant. Ma'am, you spoke about the whole journey, from playway up to post-graduation. So that is fantastic. I'm sure you must be doing a lot of student-friendly initiatives. The education must be more student-centered. How are students prepared for the future at Chitkara is what I would love to understand. What kind of careers can they foresee when they are in the school itself? So that is some very, very interesting thing, If you can throw some light on that, we'll be really grateful. How are students at Chitkara prepared for the future?
So actually, the students are prepared where the industry, when it comes and does a hand-holding to Chitkara University. And then Chitkara University does that hand-holding to Chitkara schools and other schools. that is where there's a cohesion in the system. And if you see, when industry enters your school, your education becomes meaningful. आप मैथ्स क्यों पढ़ रहे हो? आपको कल को टेलीफोनिक स्किल सिखाई जाएगी, because that can help you fetch a job maybe in a BPO or any front desk area, or maybe where a lot of communication is needed. Maybe you can become an RJ, you can become a VJ. Why animation is taught to you, why filmmaking is taught to you. So we're a school, where we are more interested in giving these skills to the students rather than merely going through a structured format. Of course, that's part of the system, but it can be dealt in a better way. I'll just give you an example. How about creating a classroom where your seating arrangement is such, where, you have students sitting as per clubs? Why co-curriculars do not enter our classes? So why is it that, we do not create a hybrid classroom? So our idea of hybrid is online versus offline.
Right.
Hybrid is also something which combines academic and co-curriculars.
Absolutely.
So मुझे लगता है कि इससे एक और चीज हो रही है, that students are getting skillful.
Right.
So who knows, this hospitality group turns out to be the best chefs of the country.
Right.
Who knows that the musicians turn out to be the best musicians, right? So inside the classroom, so you needn't do special things in your school, but you can just, with a small internal classroom arrangement, which will not cost you much, because you can put stickers, you can put placards, you can put anything, and make your classrooms very interactive. So apart from that, Industry 4.0 is there. You're part of a big industrial venture, and you know how much involved you are into the school education. So if people like you handhold us, and you tell us what's latest happening in the industry, the education will become relevant. Absolutely. And so teaching robotics, teaching animation, filmmaking, then group discussion, extemporaries, parliamentary discussions. Then you can come up with tinkering labs these days. So we've come up with a fantastic STEM STEAM lab. We're teaching them technology-inspired textiles. We're teaching them energy, electronics, because energy environment is something which definitely will be the future.
Absolutely.
So we all have to train our students on environment. Why not every lesson of ours is delivered with 3 perspectives? Number 1 is environment. Number 2 is general awareness, because we need to be updated. And then number 3 is values. Okay. There has been value erosion, the situation that's going on right now. Earlier, we used to say that please share the stuff with everybody. But today we are telling little ones not to share.
Right.
So there is a value confusion going on in the minds of the learner, that pehla system acha tha ki ab wala acha hai. Right. So these 3 perspectives must be covered if we want a better world tomorrow.
Fantastic, ma'am. I must really and genuinely say this was one of the best answers that I have got. So my dear friends, while I'm appreciating that you talk about math, science, history, geography, why not talk this language of research, innovation, robotics, coding, animation, filmmaking, because students are the future, and believe me, they're looking to alternative careers.
Absolutely.
Fantastic perspective, ma'am. I must say, really one of the best answers that I've received on this show till date. Super.
Thank you.
So, ma'am, when we are talking about students, parents are an equally important stakeholder. Now, this is a huge challenge, and making the parents understand what are the emerging trends, what are the changing roles of father and mother. So what do you see the future of relationship with parents with the school, as well as parents with the child? How will the parents will have to move with the time? If you can guide us on that, that will be something fantastic. How do parents see the modern education as, and how do they guide their children, handhold them with the help of the school?
This question is actually very close to my heart, because this is something which actually drives the life of the student of our school, their parents, their learning at home. So I'll share what we do in our school. So in our admission form, we have something called school Spock. Spock is sole point of contact.
Right.
So हमें घर से एक बंदा ऐसा चाहिए जो बच्चे की परवरिश की responsibility ले, right? And we will assign one person from the school who will be the custodian of the child for everything, be it social development, moral, physical, psychological, emotional, academics, co-curricular, sports, all that. So that is what people write on admission forms. All-round development चाहिए जी बच्चे की, right? Now, so in the admission form, home Spock and the school Spock nominated, they work together. अब बहुत हमारे देश में ऐसे बहुत parents हैं जो पढ़े लिखे नहीं हैं, or there are 25% students, from economically weaker sections studying in almost all the schools of our country now. So ये बच्चों के parents पढ़े लिखे नहीं हैं, Now what to do with that? So they may nominate anybody. Could be a paros ke didi bhaiya who are studying in some college or school. Could be a tuition teacher, anybody. And the home SPOC and the school SPOC works together. So ये इतना जरूरी है because ये ना धागे के दो सिरे हैं. अब एक धागा तो मैंने पकड़ा है, दूसरे को किसी ने पकड़ा नहीं. Right. So then there'll be no balance. So that is where it is so important that if you want that the strength and the balance of the thread is maintained, you need to work at both ends. Right. And that is where the concept of parenting comes. So पहले ज़माने में होता था parents never used to go to school or they were not engaged, but today it's a different world. So I'm very thankful to my own parent community because our school runs on a mobile app, and every day I get approximately 4,000 to 5,000 logins, which is so encouraging, which means parents are connected round the clock. But even the school has to show that faith that if you are connected, we are responding, and we are taking your feedback in a very positive way. Nobody has time in the world to give negative feedback. Right. If they are giving it, they are really helping you out. So Absolutely. Schools cannot run without the parental engagement. In fact, so much so, we have something called polling on our system. So let's say, for example, we are starting with a special program on, let's say we're starting with the German language. And now how many parents are interested and what are the preferred time slots? So when parents Right. vote, majority, results are visible. And parents, that is how the school is run. So actually the school is run by the parents.
Wow.
So इसीलिए इतना important है parents का engaged रहना school के साथ to ensure that the learner is in the sound space and his frame of mind is fine. So whatever learning is happening in the school, it has some kind of continuum at home. And not just academic learning, but happiness in the school should be, taken back home. Absolutely. Excitement and inquisitiveness, that reaches out to home. And Right. It is responded in the similar manner. So a lot of teamwork is needed from the parents' side and the school side if they expect the child to shine.
Right.
So यही एक message है, और एक message parents को मेरा ये है that it's an entire journey, और national education policy ने भी mention किया है different stages 5+3 + 3 + 4. So मुझे लगता है ये stages को अगर 3 हिस्सों में बांटा जाए, so पहली stage है early childhood development वाली, ये परवरिश की stage है, ये care की stage है. Second stage है जो 3 को add करे, ये absorption की stage है, इसमें सारी absorption होती है. And जो last stage है वो output stage है. So जैसे कंप्यूटर में input, processing and output है, NEP भी ऐसे ही बनाया गया है.
Right.
So I really suggest parent community to be patient, have faith in school system, have faith in your child, have faith in your own parvarish, and it will bear results on time. So that's my message to the parents.
Perfect, fantastic. So parents, I haven't heard a simpler definition of NEP: care, absorption, and then output. Do not expect output straight away from day one. That was fantastic. And second important message for all the parent fraternity: faith and patience, belief in the schooling system. The educators are doing their best to make sure that the children get the best. So please work with them rather than working against them. And I'm sure the results will be absolutely wonderful for all to see. That was again wonderful, ma'am. Thank you so much for that brilliant answer.
Thanks.
So ma'am, moving on, they say the speed of the engine is the speed of the train, right? So the leadership is what matters at the end of the day. And I'm sure you must be having a very, very interesting leadership style for you to achieve so many things with the students, parents, teachers, and taking all the stakeholders along. Would you mind giving us some insights in your leadership style on how do we deal with people? What is your leadership style? Will be very interesting to know that, ma'am.
So normally, when we were in our school days, I remember we used to have these principals and directors, we used to think they have special horns on their heads and they're very scary creatures.
Right.
And it's just, so scary to enter into their rooms and ask them something.
Right.
But today the world has changed. And, this is again a very stereotypical kind of a imagination or perception which parents or students they have, which is not the case. Whether it's, you're working at any kind of leadership level at school level, they're all humans and they're all students. So, right. So my leadership style and my team's leadership style is absolutely democratic. We, as I told you, we started when we were all very young. So we behave like normal human beings. We are not special people. We do not have special knowledge. We are just simple people. And, we have excitement. We have, that inquisitiveness to learn, to acquire knowledge, to learn from students, to learn from staff members. So don't be scared of the school leadership, first of all. And so my leadership style is that we work so instead of building one school with one principal, we've built a school with 10 principals. So I'm not one man army driven person where I'm following that kind of a leadership style. What I feel is that what area I am expert in, I'll rather stick to that rather than poking my head into something else where I do not have an expertise. So somebody who's good in so for example, if we have office of school counselor, and the counselor and the psychologist, she is an expert in that area, I'd rather listen to him or her. So she is the principal of that area. And right. if somebody who's good at academic, or let's say co-curriculars, so we'd rather build a school where that person will get that autonomy to operate and be the principal of that area. So this perception of one principal solving all problems, she's a superhuman or something, it is impossible, and it's very impractical. It is not the situation. Right. So in our school, it is one thing which is very clear, is that if it is your idea, it is your idea. We're not going to say it's our idea, right? And that acknowledgement and appreciation has to be there. So no plagiarism. वो ईमानदारी सिस्टम में होनी चाहिए. अगर आपने लिखा है कंटेंट तो आपने लिखा है.
Absolutely.
And that is where it operates in a very, very autonomous way, and without any kind of biases and any kind of preconceived notions. And that is what makes it very interesting, when so many expert brains, they come together and they work together for your common vision and mission. That is what makes the ecosystem very vibrant and exciting.
Wow. So democratic leadership, everybody has their right to put forth their ideas, and a wonderful open door policy, ma'am. Beautiful way to describe that. It reminded me of Steve Jobs. He used to say, I don't hire smart people for me to tell them what they have to do. They have to tell me what to do, because that's Absolutely. Why I hired them in the first place. So beautiful idea, ma'am. Very well articulated. Thank you so much. So ma'am, moving to the next question. The promise of technology in the classroom is great. It enables personalized learning, mastery-based learning, saves a lot of time both for the teachers as well as students. And I must say, Chitkara International School was one of the first schools in Chandigarh and Tricity, I must say, to be a fully technologically operated school. What are your thoughts or views of technology in education? How do you see that as an enabler for students as well as for teachers?
Well, you used a perfect word, enabler. So basically, it's technology is here to stay, and we all have experienced it, seeing the current situation. And what I feel is that, first of all, any kind of activity, any kind of work that happens in the school must have that technological edge. You shouldn't just be putting data into the computer or registers or paperwork, and that's not going to land you up to any kind of place, because you kind of doing the repetitive work, and it's tiring, it's cumbersome. So of course technology has to get into the school space, and not just in the student-led processes, but also with the processes related to all stakeholders. So whether you are working with the government, the system has to be something where you're automatically reporting to them. If you're working with the parents, there has to be a sense of automated accountability. And if you're working with students, then of course the system should be such where responding to them there and then. So this kind of a system is important. And of course you're teaching technologies to students. How is it that you teach something and you don't use it in your own regular working? So that is what I say, that so we have this wonderful mobile app, and we're connected to our parents 24/7. And it is not just data that we are pouring in and fitting in and sharing it with the parents, but it's education in its own way. So mobile assessments, mobile teaching, mobile learning. Then you have something called food and nutrition, reaching out to the parents, the school's perspective on the medical part of the child, the school's perspective on parenting, the parenting tips. So we have these wonderful cartoon tips going to the parents on soft parenting. So this is one of the examples that I'm sharing. But there are so many things possible, whether it's in the area of co-curriculars, whether it's in the area of, the food and nutrition, the medical part, the library is online, and the parents should know what the child is reading. Parents are part of the library, digitally or otherwise. So technology has to be everywhere in the nook and corner of your school.
Absolutely. Well put and very, very, very well explained, ma'am. And I must say that technology is something which is here to stay, as you very correctly mentioned. So it's high time that the teacher fraternity also realizes that this is an enabler. Technology is not here to replace them. However, if they use this, you gave a wonderful example of creating a customized learning path for every child. I know which topic I'm doing well at, which topic is something that I'm not good at. I can go back and revise and do remedials for that particular topic. This is a brilliant way of looking at things with the help of technology. Thank you so much for that perspective, ma'am. Moving to the next question. Ma'am, you spoke about the NEP very, very briefly, So basically from a parent's perspective is what we looked at. It is going to bring about a sea change in the Indian education system in terms of curriculum, in terms of making it more skill-oriented, more experiential learning-oriented. So as an educator, what are your takeaways, 2 or 3 major takeaways that you see in the NEP, and how does it impact the students from a student's perspective?
I think NEP document, I've done lots and lots of webinars on NEP now.
Right.
But I think the best takeaway is in the very first page of the document, which says to combine school education to higher education and then to the industry. And it's very well mentioned there. Schools work in their own areas and in their own format, and the university operates in their own way, and industry, of course, is working in their own ways. Right. If we are not fulfilling the requirements of the industry, then we will face major unemployability in our country. So it is important that schools work with the universities. Now, universities' timetables are different and schools' timetables are different. It is so difficult to combine. So there's a lot of potential for the industry to come up with any kind of software. If they can do it, it's going to go places. Now, for NEP, as I mentioned, मैंने इसको 3 stages में divide किया, to understand input stage, processing stage, and output stage. Now, for the input stage, I have certain suggestions, for educators to, as a takeaway for them, that first 6 years, and this is something which is so beautifully done in NEP, they've combined kindergarten and grade 1 and grade 2, which was not the case earlier. And this actually was needed. Because वो बुनियाद अच्छी होगी तो building उतनी ही strong होगी. Now these first 6 years which provide scaffolding to the child's education, इसमें सबसे ज़्यादा IQ subjects पढ़ाने चाहिए. पहले 6 साल में जो कर दिया वो कर दिया. Habit formation first 6 years, IQ subjects first 6 years, happiness quotient first 6 years, EQ emotional quotient first 6 years. हमारी प्रॉब्लम क्या है, हमें खुश रहना आता नहीं क्योंकि हमें कभी सिखाया नहीं गया. हमें कंटेंटेड रहना आता नहीं बिकॉज हमें सिखाया नहीं गया. सो पहले 6 साल में जो आदतें डाली जाएंगी कि कैसा भी सिचुएशन हो, वी हैव टू फाइट इट आउट एंड वी हैव टू बी हैप्पी. सो अगर प्रॉब्लम सॉल्विंग पहले 6 साल में ही नहीं सिखाएगी, हाउ कैन यू बिल्ड अ करिकुलम लेटर एंड टेल द चाइल्ड टू create problems and then solve the problems and come up with models and projects? It's impossible. So it is so important. First 6 years have to be experiential, have to be full of energy, enthusiasm. Inquiry can be part of it. Banking and finance can be part of it. It is so important because ultimately, when we enter industry, we have no clue what's going on, right? So the sports, co-curriculars, all these things could be part of the first 6 years. And assessments have to be innovative. Bachas don't understand numbers and alphabet, letters and all that. They don't understand all that. So this is one thing. And for the next stage, that's the absorption stage. It is so important that government has come up with a fantastic curriculum of assessment framework called SAFL, right? And this is something which will change the processing stage totally. From grade 3 to grade 8 to 10 or 12, sab change ho jayega because it's going to be all diagnostic. So this is something which is beautiful, and I really recommend educators to take it very seriously. Government is doing lots and lots of seminars, webinars, and these are small ones. You get recordings, you can see these at your ease, but you must take these seriously, and specifically the school owners. So that's one thing. Another thing is that technology curriculum is important, and technology ka matlab computer science nahi hota sirf. You have all sort of things in technology. You have robotics, you have energy, you have household technology. So using a microwave, it's technology, right?
Absolutely.
You're using a refrigerator, what kind of technology is used? It's so important. So these kind of things are there. And exams alag tarike ke hone chahiye. Pen and paper is just one format. And the current situation has taught us that it's just not pen and paper.
Right.
So you can have open book exams, you can have, fourth standard child teaching a third standard child, you can have comic strips, you can have graphic organizers, you can have summaries, simulations, book reviews, picture projection, quizzes, all that can be part of the system.
Right.
And at this stage, for schools and educators, please don't start testing students by taking their exams unless you have trained them on how to give exams.
Right.
You can't test something which you have not taught.
Right.
And in our school, we make it a point not to test a child unless we've taught that properly. It's a request to all the teachers. We are not testing students. Testing is a very, very narrow term. And it's more of assessments happening. So let the child be oriented about examinations. You have to train the students. You can't take exams at one go. But paper le lo bas. Now you're reached third standard, so no exams are coming. So
right.
we shouldn't be doing all that. And for the higher grades, which is the board classes, the 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th. So my take is that, and NEP also mentions, career orientation should start from 6th onwards. We should start working on developing the portfolios of the learners. We should start working on industry interactions. How can a student who doesn't have a personality of sitting in one place even for 5 minutes can do a finance job sitting in an office space later on? So it has to match your personality, it has to match your aptitude, your temperament. So it is so important कि जब बच्चा आपके पास स्कूल में आ रहा है, आप उसको ट्रैक करना शुरू कीजिए and उसकी सारे personality traits को study करके then you propose a career. So career structure, career digital profiles, coding, all these things should be part of the curriculum. And 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th board classes, we have so much that's possible beyond board approach, like research and patents. There's one student of my school who's recently, applied for a patent of the product, and and there are 10 more coming up. So it's more of, and white papers, and then you can come up with, as I mentioned, MUNs and debate and declamation, parliamentary debates, group discussions, and co-curriculars. There is a concept that board आ गए, अब खेलना बंद कर दो, अब सब बंद कर दो, अब participate ही मत करो, and this is something which is so crazy because you can't stop living your life because boards आ गए हैं, and I think this can fade away only. And I've also requested many times, and I still keep on requesting, that if all the statutory bodies, government bodies, they can come, a CBSE can come up with a co-curricular transcript. सारी foreign universities ये मांगती हैं, कम्युनिटी वर्क बच्चे ने कितना किया, को करिकुलर्स में क्या अचीव किया, कितने एनजीओस के साथ काम किया. हमारे यहाँ इट्स ओनली एकेडमिक रिपोर्ट कार्ड. सो द डे एकेडमिक रिपोर्ट कार्ड के साथ 10th और 12th में को करिकुलर ट्रांसक्रिप्ट गेट्स एडेड विद इक्वल वेटेज, उस दिन एजुकेशन सिनेरियो विल चेंज टोटली एंड चिल्ड्रन विल बी हैप्पियर, बैलेंस्ड चिल्ड्रन. So that is how I perceive NEP.
Wow, ma'am. They say talking few minutes to a wise man is worth much more than reading thousands of books. And I could see a live example of that in front of me. The way we have broken down into the absorption stage, the care stage, the output stage, how the exam should happen was a lesson for all the educators out there. Do listen to the interview. And even if you're able to implement half the things that madam has mentioned, believe me, your school has moved to the next pedestal. Thank you so much, ma'am. That was very, very well put and very detailed. Moving to the penultimate question for the day, ma'am. Mm-hmm. So along with NEP, we spoke about students, we spoke about parents, and now comes the third and the most important stakeholder, according to me, the teacher, right? Because professional development is the need of the hour, and continuous teacher training, teacher enhancement is very necessary for the teachers to equip themselves and cater seamlessly to the 21st century learner. Because they don't want only academics, as you mentioned. They want various variety of skills like creativity, critical thinking, communication, collaboration. So how does a teacher upskill himself, and what are the initiatives that you have taken in this particular regard to make sure that the teachers are moving simultaneously to the next level, ma'am? Would love to hear from you.
So it's a great question, and this is something, where actually, me and my team, we are working round the clock. So we are a school where, we are collaborating already with Chitkara College of Education. That's a B.Ed college that comes under Chitkara University. And, few years back, we used to, they asked us a question that, you hire teachers from so many places, but you do not ever hire students from our college. Right. So we answered to them that, you really need to introspect, because that's not the kind of product we would want to hire in our institutions, because I don't think so they're industry ready. And that is what triggered them. And that is what, excited them to study schools and the kind of teacher that should be shaped. So they restructured and revamped their entire model. And Today we are very proud of the fact that they're working very closely with Macquarie University, Australia. We're working with GEM School, Dubai. We're training their teachers. We're doing a special B.Ed batch for them. We are doing special batches here where our teachers are doing their internships in all the top best schools, in the northern region and otherwise. And so I would like to answer this question from the national education perspective. 3 stages: input stage, processing stage, and output stage. Ab mujhe lagta hai, for all the teachers, if you're hearing me, I'd like to suggest you certain things that I have observed, and I think that can help you, go places. The first one is that if you are in the input stage as a teacher, if you're teaching students who are at the input stage, there are certain things as a teacher you must know. कुछ theories हैं जो आपको आनी चाहिए, जैसे कि early childhood learning and development theory, multiple intelligence theory, Kohlberg's moral development theory. As I mentioned, moral values have gone for a toss. Right. आपको ये theory आनी चाहिए और आपको ये बच्चों को इसको apply करके अपने classrooms में use करना चाहिए. Then you have Montessori methods. A lot of schools are already using. You have verbal, non-verbal clues, and then you have a lot of expressions, and then you can have a smile is an integral part of any lesson. Theater into your classrooms, beds into your classroom. Let the little learner sleep, and you should know how well the learner sleeps. The nutrition and health has to be part of the program. So basically, at this level, you should do all that what is needed to mother a child. Because so many hours you're taking care of the child away from the mother. Now, the 3+3 stage, which is the processing stage. सफल framework को सफल बनाने के लिए, it is so important कि B.Ed colleges सफल की training दें. So whatever CBSE is doing, and mind you, CBSE is moving at a very fast pace. And if you are not catching up, then we will have a line of unprepared teachers with us. So please, जो CBSE कर रहा है, B.Ed colleges को जरूर करना चाहिए. And you must train your teachers on Bloom's taxonomy, mastery learning, Piaget cognitive development theory. अगर आप mathematics पढ़ा रहे हैं, तो please आपको Piaget आना चाहिए. Then item creation and item analysis. क्योंकि आने वाले time में, once the SAFL is rolled out, you have to know data science. You have to know how the data is analyzed and interpreted. And then question banks, diagnostic assessments, feedback, all that has to be part. So teachers should be prepared on all these areas. Right. And the last part, which is the output stage. अब इस stage पे कुछ theories हैं, because इस stage पे बच्चा बड़ा हो जाता है, goes through a lot of emotional turmoil. The stage is called the turmoil stage. So इस stage में a teacher cannot just be a content teacher. उनको Vygotsky theory आना चाहिए, Erikson का theory आना चाहिए on psychosocial development, उनको personality theories आना चाहिए, career theories आना चाहिए, then high school personality questionnaire कैसे इस्तेमाल करना है, aptitude test आना चाहिए, career exhibitions, career fairs, आपको queuing technique आनी चाहिए, आपको ink blot test करना आना चाहिए, picture projection, online classes are going on. Right. How do you know a learner? You can know a learner through a picture projection test. राइट तो ये चीजें आनी चाहिए जिससे आपके क्लासरूम्स जो हैं बहुत इंटरेस्टिंग बने. योर लर्नर विल नॉट रन अवे नो मैटर इट्स ऑनलाइन और ऑफलाइन. So teachers have to be prepared. If the teachers are not prepared, then either you do technology or you do all sort of things, you're not going to sustain. So it's my request to all the schools. So we are working as a school, and there are other 100+ schools who are working very closely with Chitkara College of Education. You can either, handhold and join, and partner with us, or you can join with any other good reputed B.Ed college available and nearer to your area. And you must make your teachers do internship and do refresher courses. And also, please, in your online classes, allow B.Ed college students to attend and observe classes. Because wo untrained reh gaye, whom are you going to hire? Right. So please, ये एक request है that if we want to upscale and upskill the teachers to be at par with this forthcoming generation that's so ready with the content already, and you want to match up to them, please be prepared with all this and keep training. School owners must also invest a lot into faculty development. That's the need. That shows your intelligent quotient as well. So that's about it. And you can also rope in your alumni because they are your parvarish. 5 + 3 + 3 + 4 की stage से आपने उनको निकाला है.
Right.
So उनसे ज़्यादा आपको कोई नहीं जानता है, and they are your real product. So please, you can put them into a teaching framework. They can come and take classes. The learners will be very happy to learn from their seniors. And so in our school, every Saturday, Chitkara University students, they come and take classes. So they love to learn from big didis and bhaiyas, the latest salsa steps and the latest hip hop or the music. So it adds vibrancy into the system. And then, school education and university, they work in tandem together. Right. And that's going to add to employability. So that's my take on teacher education.
Absolutely wonderful, ma'am. I must say, extraordinary. You are a powerhouse of information on these teaching techniques. And believe me, all the educators out there, please make sure that some of your teachers are trained through all the various aspects, grade-wise. That is very critical, as madam has laid out at what grade, what kind of teaching techniques are required. And believe me, they will go to a different pedestal altogether once they've undergone a training process. And we have the best resource in front of us. I mean, none other than the institution that madam runs for teacher training. Do connect with them, please, for sure. So thank you so much, ma'am.
All the best for all your future endeavors.
Thank you so much.
My best wishes to all of you.
Thank you so much.